It's just a rice, basically, very starchy rice. And what happens is when you cook it, the way we're going to cook it, the process we use, it releases all these starches. And the name, I'm going to give a shot at the name. No, I'm not even going to go for the starch name. I tried all night. I had it once, and that was it. I couldn't do it. All right. So it's a vegetable risotto. So first, before I start cooking the rice, you're going to need some vegetable stock, at least 4 times the amount of rice that you're cooking. So if I'm cooking a cup of rice, I'm going to need about a quart of stock, and I'll probably use it all. What I did is I broke it down, and we're going to do 2 appetizer dishes. We're going to do a vegetable risotto, and we're going to do a risotto with just Parmesan and some shaved Reggiano cheese on top. I mean, Grana Padano cheese on top. All right, and there's a process to it. So the vegetable risotto, we're going to cut a few veggies first. I have a little. Now look, this is just for one order. I probably won't use all of this. It's some red and orange bell pepper, a shallot, a carrot. I also have broccoli and peas that I'm going to use in it, just to give it some color. All right, so I do want to cut the carrot. Now, there's 2 ways you could do the carrot. You could do it in brunoise, which you guys, I'm sure all you guys know what that is. All my students know what brunoise is, what size. Gotcha. All right, now, you can also do maybe a julienne, but it doesn't have to be a classical julienne. We can make them smaller. So I'm going to do a little julienne and a little bit of brunoise. So I'm going to square my carrot off. One more. Save these scraps for something else. Okay. So see, I'm doing them small. And we could put them in our risotto, or we could go and do the brunoise. So since we have all these other veggies, I'm probably going to use the brunoise. I just wanted to show you that cut right there. Now our peppers, same thing. I always cut not on the skin side, on the inside of the pepper. It's easier to cut. And I'm going to do the same thing. I want to cut it real small in julienne strips. I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to cut it in brunoise. There you go. Now, what is that, 1/8 by 1/8 by 1/8? Yes, chef? Okay.
Yes, chef.
I'm going to do one of the bell peppers. And I'm going to a red piece and a orange piece. So listen, price of produce is a little high, no matter what you look at. So a bag of these peppers, there's about maybe a dozen or 15 in a minute bag. They're this big, okay? And it's about $2.19. They look like this. $2.19, $2.75, right in that area, okay? One red bell pepper at the produce market or Acme, wherever you guys go, was $2.50 yesterday. So, to save your cost a little bit, it might be a little more work. So you could use these little bell peppers. Okay, and I'm going to do a little bit of shallot and we'll get started. Now the shallot, we're going to mince it, just like he's learned in class. Same way you would do the onion, I'm going to do the shell. Turn it. Turn it. Okay. Basically, you have a minced shallot right there. All right, so now our veggies are pretty much cut. The starches in this rice are, I really want to take the shot at it, but I know I'll be wrong. But there's other rices. If you don't have risotto and you're doing this at home, you could substitute. You could substitute basmati rice, sushi rice, and canola rice. I'm going to put my burner on here. Now listen, you're going to need stock when you do this. I'm using veggie stock, and I already brought it up to a boil, so you need your stock nice and hot. You can never put cold stock into a hot pot and expect something to cook. So I have it up to a boil. I'm going to turn it back on again and just let it simmer. Take my top off. Take my lid off. Now, when you do risotto, there's two options: a spatula or a wooden spoon. They're your only two options. You could use a metal spoon, but it's not. Spoon.
You heard me, Chef?
No.
I said you're going to use a wooden spoon.
Correct. But you could use the rubber spatula or the wooden spoon. That's what classically is used to make risotto. And I'm sure other people use other things. They use metal spoons. They use tablespoons like this here, but you don't want to use, you want to do it the classical way, especially when you're learning. So I have a little bit of butter that I'm going to put here in my pot. Now, okay, and I'm just going to let that melt a little. You got to be careful, this will burn. So my pot's nice and hot. I'm going to add some shallots. Now remember, this is only a half a cup of risotto. I'm making 2 orders. One single order is a 1/4 cup. So I'm not going to use a lot of everything. Now, I'm going to saute this up a little. Now this dish takes a while. It'll take about 20 minutes once everything is in there. So we're sweating down the shallots a little bit. We're going to make them nice and translucent. I'm going to try to do this without dirtying the gas range. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm definitely going to try. Okay, so it's going to take about a minute or two. We're almost there. Lower the heat a little. Okay, now we're going to add our risotto. We're going to toast it up a little bit in our butter. This is a half a cup of risotto. You want it to toast a little. We used to do this to order on one of our menus. Second course had a risotto app in it.
What's your favorite risotto?
I like it with the mushrooms and the truffles. Not the truffles, the mushrooms and the truffles on top.
Yeah, that's good.
Shaved on top with a little brandy. I could go for that right now. First, I'm going to deglaze it with a little white wine, about an ounce or two. Now, I could throw my vegetables in here now, but what will happen is by the time this is done, they'll cook to death. They'll be so mouchad, and that's Italian for mushy, that you don't want to do that. So if you could look, just that little bit of wine is bringing some of the starch out of this rice already. So once the wine is absorbed, I'm going to start with my stock. Now, when you do this, you don't keep throwing ladles on top. You do just enough to cover your rice. And you just keep stirring it until it is all absorbed. All your liquid is absorbed, all your stock. Now, this pot is pretty wide. I'll use this so you guys can see it. This is good with saffron. A couple threads of saffron. Oh, man. It's a versatile dish. You can do pretty much a lot of things with it. Seafood. Seafood vegetable like we're doing. You can put some shrimp in here. Lobster, shrimp, scallops. It's a money maker too. It don't really cost that much.
You were at that stuff when you like done though, right?
Yes. Yeah, well,
Okay.
maybe you would saute it on the side or right at the very end, throw it in.
Got you.
Yeah, because if you put it in now, it'll just be all tough and scrunched up and curled up.
The trick to making a good risotto is convincing that starch that neither Chef Dan or I want to say the name of to
It begin M-O-Y,
he can spell it. I can't even do that.
M-O-Y-L.
Anyway, the trick is to get it to soften and kind of, it's a curly Q kind of strand, if you can imagine, microscopically. And so the object is to get it to soften enough to allow moisture to go between pieces. And then that washes out the loose starch, which is sometimes called chalking. And it makes that delicious, creamy.
As you can see, it's starting to get creamy already. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can say it.
All right, so the butters was making it creamy, right?
No,
No, the stock.
it would work well without butter at all.
It's the stock that's bringing the starches, the liquids bringing the starches.
So it's
Down
the
the
particular rice you was just saying.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of rices, and all the rices have some starch, but the short grains like this risotto, like a borio, are good for this purpose.
Got it.
Takes about 20 minutes and constantly stirring it because you don't want it to stick and scorch.
Listen, I don't know if you guys watch Hell's Kitchen and that show. They always have risotto on their menu. But like most restaurants, they kind of cheat and it's pre-cooked.
Yeah, because somebody always fuck it up.
Right, and it's already, and I don't know how they do that on TV, honestly, since it's pre-cooked, and I don't know how you can mess something up that's already done. But
They
yeah,
always burn it.
that's probably it. That might be the real problem. Is they're just not adding. It's getting the pans too hot.
Mhm. They forget that it's pre-cooked and, overdo it.
It does take 20 minutes. Most restaurants will cook it
Hmm.
and then finish it to order because they don't have the 20 minutes to wait. When we do have it on our menu, we kind of position it wisely in the second course.
Hmm.
Because it takes, we have 10 minutes. We expect to get the first course to the table in 10 minutes, and we expect them to take at least 10 minutes to eat it. So if we fire the second course and the first course at the same time, the risotto would be done, fresh, creamy.
Hmm. So if it could dry out if it's staying too long.
Yeah, and the starch, yes, a lot of things go wrong.
Yeah, it'll get hard. The starch will harden up, tighten up.
Hmm.
The funny thing is about this gelatin, it's actually the starch gelatinizes, sort of like Jello brand gelatin. And the funny thing is, like bread, when it sits, the moisture kind of leaches out, so then it gets dry, and it has a liquid that wasn't there before.
Hmm.
You don't see that in your bread because it evaporates, but wet. Sometimes you may have seen you ever thicken the starch, if you ever in sauces, if you had sauces, there's a
Yeah.
possibility to use cornstarch to thicken, and it tells you that you can't refrigerate or freeze it,
Mhm.
It'll get like a rock. I learned that the hard way.
and it gets hard and it squeezes the liquid back out of it. It's not moist and creamy.
Mm. Well, I didn't know that. I always thought, it would just stay the same.
I used to make sauces for a restaurant. I would go in, make the sauces, and go home, and that basically was my job. And I went in and I made about 3 gallons of chicken velouté. And for some reason, the chef used cornstarch. And I used the cornstarch. I went home. So right before service, I got a phone call. You got to come back and fix it. You made it like spackle. So as it cooled down, it just got very, very thick. So yeah, it was a learning experience.
There's a lot of good if you get bored like I do, and you Google starch gelatinization, you'll see really cool videos. CIA has some,
Yeah, I would like to see a video like that.
and their food
Because I be
science.
putting salts in there, but I be wondering why everybody texture was different. Like when they use the starch or whatever,
It's
but that
interesting.
answers a lot of questions.
So the adding the liquid slowly is giving that starch that's gelatinizing a chance to absorb the excess liquid rather than it just boiling away.
Now, I'm thinking we're almost halfway there. You'd serve this in a bowl. I prefer it in a bowl. But for an appetizer, you could put it on a square dish, an appetizer-sized dish. Doesn't have to be a bowl. We're going to do it on one of our square plates. And I brought a couple rings up to put ring molds to put it in the center of the ring to see how it holds up. It'll run right out usually.
One thing you want to try to avoid doing is molding risotto, because people want it to be rich and creamy. And when you think of something that's dry and firm, it's totally opposite of rich and creamy. So we use
So-
go ahead, I'm sorry.
So, Chef, what kind of texture are you looking for? Like, I never had risotto, so I always thought like an oatmeal kind of texture.
Creamy.
Yeah, oatmeal might be close, a thicker oatmeal, but not so thick. A creamy oatmeal would be a good description, I suppose. So we use a ring mold on our plating mainly to keep the stuff in one place on the plate. We're not actually molding it.
Mm-hmm.
So then when we remove the ring, it should spread if we did a good job a little bit.
So it should hold its shape, so it should not.
Well, not like that scuba rice when you go to a cafeteria, though.
No, but
I-
if you move the ring, it shouldn't like get water, like start
No, it
deforming.
should kind of mush a little bit. The ring, really, when we do the ring plating, it's only to keep it in the center of the plate as we're finishing it, and then we lift the ring off and it kind of smushes down a little bit, spreads a little bit, but it does still as a circle in the center of the plate.
Okay, yeah.
Some people make barley, and they substitute barley for risotto. Like at home.
I think.
they
Yeah, I
won't
think I
use
see that.
starch.
You can do it with a lot of things. You can do it with many grains. Any grain with a
Farro,
starch.
that's what
Farro,
they
yeah.
use.
But wouldn't it be more thick then? Like, wouldn't it be change the consistency?
No, you create that by adding the stock at the right time. So if you take barley and put it in, just take a cup of barley and put it in a
That's where we're
gallon.
at now.
If you took a cup of barley and put it in a gallon of water, you would just have boiled barley. But if you add the water slowly, like Chef's adding the stock slowly, or the stock slowly to the barley, it gets a chance to absorb it rather than just swim around in it and cook.
Mm.
So as it absorbs it, it creates this it's gelatinized starch. Actually, is what it is. It's it'll never be starch again. You can't turn it back into starch. It's a whole together new thing. So
Wow. Wow. So
I
you
know.
just gotta keep whipping it up.
Yeah, many people will try to mold it. And I was at an ACF competition. Our team we had won the Northeast region, so we were competing for the next level. And another team had risotto on their menu, and they molded it, and the judges just destroyed them. There were people crying at the end of that. It wasn't our team because we wouldn't do that, but I'll never forget that. How upset the judges were that it didn't look creamy and rich and delicious. It looked, yep, it was a totally different look.
Molded.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta be comfortable, to make a dish. I was just talking about that. You can't just go to like a competition and just think like, okay, well, I'm maybe good at this, or yeah, this come out good sometimes. Like it gotta be, comfortable, something you're comfortable.
Our competition team practiced for 6 months, three days a week.
Yeah.
And then a few weekends we did fake competitions because the whole thing is you're cutting final.
Right.
It's a 6-hour event. It's not a little.
Oh my gosh. That's so nerve-wracking. And then other people watching you, and then other people's judging you.
Yep. And normally, and then of course you're in a foreign kitchen, which I suppose if I was a sports person, I would understand that every stadium's foreign too. But
Right.
kitchens are way different because if you ask me,
Yeah. It's hot as shit.
football grass is football grass, but a stove isn't a stove, and an oven's
Right. Hot as shit. Oh my gosh. The heat, the nerves. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. One year we were there a few times. We made nationals a few times. And one year our team was doing a standing rack, a rib roast. It was in a convention center, so there was no kitchen. Everything was set up just for the competition, and they were kids. And anyway, we did a great job, but they failed. Their oven wasn't working properly, and they didn't have any experience how to handle such problems. So ended up serving almost raw meat, and it was just a shame.
Well, isn't that a technicality? If you're in a competition and your oven blow out, I would think that
You lose.
Yeah.
No.
Think about it, you'll lose.
As the judges said, I wasn't allowed to talk to them. I'm sitting back for these hours watching the whole thing, trying to figure out how to get signs to them to try to cheat without getting caught cheating. But from the judge's perspective, the job was to turn out the dish, even if they had to change it.
Oh my God.
That's searing on a 4-foot grill.
As one judge said, when you realized it wasn't working, you should have taken it out, cut it into steaks, and turned it into a pan.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, right, because they're looking for ways for you to come up, just in case the bacon way doesn't work, you can pan fry it or deep fry. Okay. So I see.
Save the day. As a coach, I was pissed at that because they're asking students to have the 20 years of experience they haven't solved the problem. But in the end, we had to turn it out when we couldn't put it out.
Yeah.
They probably learned from that too. They had to. So
yeah, they're all doing very well.
Oh my gosh. We gotta do a mock mini thing, a mini cook-off. That would be awesome.
We almost have one scheduled, huh?
I know, our burger challenge that I can never get over not doing.
I'm all right. Ready in about 5 more minutes.
So I thought about doing one of these pre-cooking it and staging it so that you could see that, but you'll just have to take my word for it that this is going to be rich and creamy and almost like people in the dining room. If you work in the dining room, you'll have people ask you, can I have my risotto without cream? Well, there's no cream in your risotto. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but people do that in restaurants. It's kind of like a cheat move.
Right. And when you see a fine risotto finished, it looks like vanilla pudding. It looks like rice pudding, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, I think. I thought one time when I saw risotto, I thought that's why I didn't eat it. I'm like, it almost looked like porridge or like like watery
Yes.
rice. I don't
Porridge.
know.
Now some people will saute their stuff darker. I personally like the bright white color and the contrast of vegetables, so I use clear stocks, and I try not to brown any of my vegetables and things, so that it's crisp white, sort of like a nice piece of cheese. You know, not pure white, but a creamy looking white.
Now, you notice I've been stirring this for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yup, it sounds about right.
Aren't your arms tired?
No, honestly,
No. Oh my gosh.
it's all in the wrist.
But really,
Well, you've been doing it as long as Simmons' his wrist naturally move. Like,
It's the flick. It's the
Tell me
flick of
about
the
it.
wrist.
it's
Tell me
really. I
about
was
it.
about to say that.
It's the flicking of wrist.
Same thing when you whisk. It's all in your wrist. It's not in your shoulder or your arm. It's all in the wrist.
No, man, chef. When I whisk my arm, man, it be. Whew. I
you
think I
start
got
feeling it in your
arthritis.
wrist.
Yeah, I think I be having arthritis. My fingers start hurting.
Tell you what, you guys are too young to have all this stuff.
That's how I feel when I be peeling yams and stuff like that. My whole hand be hurting, like doing a whole case.
It's the arthritis.
So this so Chef's rice is starting to get thicker. I switched to his view so you can't see it so much because he was talking, but pretty soon
It's almost.
pretty soon he'll be adding in his vegetables and things if he was going to do it in the pot. And he did use vegetable stock, remember? So there's other things you can do with this. I was watching Uncle Ben's Rice makes a pre-made risotto. Don't laugh, Joe. It's okay. It works for some things.
Does it?
Yeah. So it's almost ready to serve. It's like a heat and serve, and add a little bit of stuff to it. And they were talking about how you can turn your breakfast station, if you were running a cafeteria like in a college somewhere, into at dinner time it could be a risotto station. The same pan,
Same
everything.
setup.
Right. And then they were talking about how one college turns theirs into a dessert station. They make dessert risotto.
I like that.
They use stock, a very light stock, to make a very mild flavored risotto, and then they add fresh fruit, or they add chocolate, or both. The chocolate one, I was wishing I could taste it because I was watching this on a Zoom meeting like you are, so I couldn't. But it looked really, really delicious.
So if you can see it now, it's pretty much creamy and most of the liquid's gone.
Wait, I got to switch
All right,
cameras.
hold on.
Okay, there we go. We're back on.
Okay, if you look, you can see it's real creamy and most of the liquid's gone. That's all starch. I'm going to wait another minute or two and try. If there is any liquid, I'm going to try to get it out of there. And then I'm going to plate it. I think we're just about ready. So I'm going to take one order out now. This is just going to be a plain risotto with I'm going to put some cheeses in that. This other one now, we're going to add our peppers, our broccoli and peas, and the carrots. A little bit of the Vermont carrots.
You can add like chicken in there, right? If you're making like chicken risotto.
And whatever you want. You could saute everything up on the side and add it at the end. Now, this is a great appetizer.
You can see how it's kind of standing up, but it's also kind of smooth and.
Yeah, like it's gently going down. It's not like.
Right. Not a soup, and it's also not. It wouldn't mold. You couldn't shape that in it.
So now this is our cheesy risotto. Oh, mother.
gotta put a higher than PG rating on this one.
Yeah. Okay. I could garnish it some carrots around the outside or something green around the outside. Same here. Here you go. We have two risottos. We have our cheesy risotto. It's hard to see the cheesy one because it's all white mixture. And it's creamy, but it's not going anywhere. And then you have your vegetable risotto. Has all your veggies in it. And basically, it's the same thing. We've made two different dishes out of it. For an appetizer like this, you could get about $8, maybe a little more, all depending on what you add to it. For an entree, the same thing. Whatever you add to it, you upcharge it. You could, it's hard to do this in bulk if you want to do it right and make it the right way. But some people do it and, they pour Coke and they mix it to order and they throw it out on the table. They add a little cream to it. That's cheating. This is the way it should be done. It's falling down a little, but not much. Starch is holding it together. There you go. There's your two dishes, your two risotto dishes. This one's hard to see because of that white color.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can even see.
Your shaved gravadon on top.
You can see this.
I can see it.
It looks good, chef. It really
looks
does.
like that looks like melted cheese down here at the plate and the rice area, but it's actually gelatinized starch. It's the cream of the rice.
Mm.
That's our risotto demo for today. Any questions?
I got one.
Can I have some?
Yeah.
Oh, like say if it was like a just guessing like a chicken risotto, would you cook it with chicken stock? Is like that possible? Or
And you change your stocks if it's seafood. You want to put lobster, use a lobster stock.
okay, just curious.
Putting-
Got you.
You would definitely want to tailor the stock to the.
And it's 1 cup per 1 quart.
1/4 cup. This is a 1/4 cup of risotto in each portion. This is an appetizer portion.
Okay.
All right.
Questions asked.
What would you guys put in if you were making it?
I'll put seafood because I want a seafood risotto.
Chicken, because everything tastes good with chicken.
Chicken's good, yeah.
You could do anything. You could do chicken, peppers, mushrooms, hot peppers.
But then you said something with
Whatever you want in it. It's a base for you to make a lot of money with.
but you can make it sweet too, right? Like you said something with chocolate. I don't like chocolate, but you can make like a vanilla,
You can make it sweet.
Yeah, vanilla rice.
You can add fruit.
Mm.
Lots of possibilities. One thing I'd like to point out is you'll notice Jeff used a pot to make this. Right?
Oh,
Pot to make the rice.
Yeah.
How much you think it costs to make, and like how much could you profit off of it if I had to
Right. The vegetable risotto right here probably cost about $1 tops to make. Tops.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. The rice. I can check the price of the rice, but the rice is probably about 25 cents.
Right.
The rice is like 25 cents.
30
Yeah.
cents.
So the dish is labor intensive, but it's like any pasta dish. What does pasta cost?
Like freaking
Right.
$1.05.
Yeah, like less than $1 a pound, supermarket, even, right? So and that's 8 servings at least, depending on how you plate it and what size
And what's in it?
Yeah.
And rice is not any different. I mean, it may feel expensive to buy a bag of rice, but when it hits the plate, you're only using a 1/4 cup.
So let me ask you this. Does everybody like Chinese food?
Not anymore. Not since the coronavirus.
I still do.
Well, I'm not asking any of that. I'm asking how much does a pint of pork fried rice go for?
$4.
$2.75.
Yeah, like two.
Like $2.75.
Yeah.
All right, $7. So how much do you think it costs to make that? It's got to cost every bit of $1.50 tops.
Yeah, I was thinking the rice that y'all was using was more expensive though, cause
It is a little more expensive.
yeah, that's what I was
But I'm
thinking.
using that as an example of your markup. It's got to be at least almost 200% markup. Just here, you could sell this for $8, $9, no problem.
So all that being said, it is labor intensive. After all, if you were working a station, a risotto station, you need to spend all your time there. You can do nothing else but that station. So if you're only running one pot, that that half hour of your pay is going entirely into that dish. And if you have 5 or 6 or 8 of them running, well, then it's a little better. But still, it's a very labor intensive dish. So there is some other cost besides the food, but it is an amazing. And I have who has had risotto?
Never.
All right, well then we'll definitely have to have a risotto lab, chef.
No problem.
It's when flavored properly and cooked properly, the texture of the rice and the creamy texture of the starch. It's I'm standing here talking to you, and I'm wishing I could stick a spoon in here and eat this right now.
No, definitely, because it looks like it would be like a laboring thing to do, and it's like a lot of people will fuck it up,
So all flavors are concentrated, so the stocks were slightly reduced but absorbed. So all the flavors of the stocks, the solid matter, the taste of the stock, the thing that makes it not water, is still in the rice. And the cheeses have melted on the cheese one, and it's just making my mouth.
I might make one a day. I ain't got nothing better to do.
Can I chime in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So one ingredient I would highly recommend never to include. We did a risotto lab I guess 6 months ago. Last time we taught it, and one student threw in mozzarella cheese, and it was so odd. It was like gooey and
yeah, I can only imagine.
So there's a
mozzarella.
Great ingredients you could add, but that's not one of them.
I would think more of like a shredded cheese, something that's not more
if you're gonna add a cheese like Parmesan, like Grano cheeses, those are really the cheeses to go with.
Yeah, the mozzarella is soft, stringy, and kind of rubbery.
And it would get really stiff too as it cools off a little.
Right.
Chef Dan, do you remember that risotto last time?
No, I don't actually.
I don't want to name names, but it was a really good student who did it.
If you could look and see, it's not sticking together. It's still a little loose. It's not getting all gummy. So it worked out. Good job.
So I started to say that chef used the pot to make his risotto, and I have and that's kind of something that I've always done, and I have a number of reasons for it. Just to defend my position, typically pots are thicker than the other method, which is a saute pan. And remember, I told you I like to keep my risottos looking very white, so things would burn much quicker in a saute pan. So it can be done. It is done all the time. Most places will use a saute pan. This was just an alternative method. I wanted to make sure you knew that. You will see other methods, I promise.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. John.
No, I was agreeing with you. I was like, word.
Said you're gonna make risotto later. What's it gonna be?
Chicken and mushroom.
No, I know, but I think you said you were gonna make risotto later, right?
Oh yeah, I can make one. I ain't doing nothing today. I'm chilling.
I was wondering what flavor risotto you were gonna make.
It'd probably be chicken. It's so easy to get chicken. I could do mushrooms, so I can mix it, right?
Yeah, you can do anything you want.
Can I
get
use
fancy?
Can I use store-made stock? Because to make my own stock is going.
That's what I was going to do. I ain't gonna lie.
What were you gonna do?
Get some
Yeah,
About a
Swanson
storage
broth.
on.
Yeah, that's a legal
Top-
move.
Yeah. Heat it
All
up.
right, bet.
I'm not down in that. It works. It's good stuff, man.
What's the other?
Especially if you get the low sodium. And now they have these new ones that you pick it out, read the ingredients, and make sure that it starts with meat, fish, chicken, whatever it is you're buying.
Oh, really?
Yes, and some of them don't. So be careful.
that?
But
Okay, so it's just chicken broth, but it's just broth and just risotto rice, right? It's no like special kind of risotto rice. I do
And
want to
butter. Remember
and
that.
butter. Yeah, butter. I know. Butter.
And then all
So
your
you
toppings and
wait. So
And
you
sure, rice-
sauteed
the rice
you
is labeled
sauteed your
in
onions first.
supermarkets.
You have to
Yes.
saute your. Are you sweating your onions
You
or you
do that to-
sauteing it?
Sweating.
Yes, you do that to sweeten them because they're, it brings out the sweetness of them.
Okay.
So when
I
you
feel
buy
like
the
I
rice,
could
it'll be called the Boreal rice, of course, and any stock will work. No, I'm not if it's good stuff, it's good stuff. It doesn't matter if it says Swanson or if it says Kiera made it. No. Right?
All right.
Yep.
all right,
Fine.
bet. I'm gonna send it to y'all in y'all email when I'm
I
done.
would. I was about to. Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture and send it.
All right, bet.
So, any other questions that you think here? Yeah, and you don't have to mix the stuff in. I happen to know that I think you're going to see a demo soon where the flavor ingredients are, the risotto will be kind of normal, regular, cheesy. And the ingredients are going to be on top as a plate garnish.
That's also pretty.
Rather than, so imagine if you were making this cheese risotto here. Where are you? There you are. And then on top you put some nice open, and stuff. Chef Adam, you're doing some demos with risotto coming up too, right?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a risotto demo next week. So there will be some very similar things to our risottos, and there's going to be definitely some different things as well. So you get to learn many different ways to make risotto. I learned, that was one of the first things I learned in culinary school how to make was risotto, and I've made it the same way since. Had Chef Dan taught me how to make it years ago, I'd probably make it exactly like his.
Okay.
Nice.
So the fact of the matter is the word in Italian just really means rice.
Rice.
So anything you can think of with rice kind of goes.
Right.
Cool.
Guys,
I'm open to some ideas if anybody wants to share them. I would love trying them.
Like
I'm just trying to get started.
basically what like ideas for you to cook something.
Oh yeah, I
or,
wonder.
like,
Hey, I wonder if we could do like if we were running a gastropub. I wonder what risotto tastes like with bacon, Adam.
Oh
Never
my
done that
gosh.
before.
I was just thinking that.
That would be good.
Think about it. Think about the salty carbon, the smoky flavor of
Right.
bacon.
All right, can I tell you what my favorite risotto I ever made? My favorite risotto I ever made was, I called it bacon and duck cornetto, and it was duck confit was the protein, and roasted corn and bacon in the risotto.
That sounds like it would taste like good as shit, chef.
Yeah, that was a good one. But the duck confit takes days to make it. So
Yes.
you gotta prepare days in advance to make one of those.
Right.
I'm thinking on my way home, I'm going to stop at the ARS Brewery on Passion Avenue and say, hey, I think I'm going to come over some night and sell bacon risotto.
That would sell like in a little.
You should do that. Make some
Yeah,
money, chef.
in a little pint signs.
Little side gig.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they pay me in beer, I'm all right with it. It'll be okay.
I'm going to do bacon wrapped risotto poppers.
Right.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Amazing. I'm here for it.
I don't know why that came to mind, but it's a very strong flavor bacon, and there's very few people who don't like it. And
Yeah.
man, I think That would be good in risotto.
So listen, think about this real quick. Now, I just blurted that out off the top of my head, right? If you wanted to make that, how would you make it? The bacon wrapped risotto poppers. How would you make it? Think a minute.
I would
Oh man,
I'll take the risotto, make it in.
Risotto, right?
I'll take the risotto, make it into balls, and then just wrap it
Gotta
up.
Yeah.
make the risotto cold.
Huh?
So it sticks together.
yeah, we could do that.
Yo, you breaking?
Wrap it in bacon, and then bread it, right?
And then deep fry it.
Do it like in a corn dog batter.
It's a great
Oh
idea.
my God.
It's as good an idea as the one year Chef and I came up with this idea of making sushi risotto.
Yeah,
my God.
we did
You-
a fruit sheet.
Green.
A dessert risotto. We spent hours and hours and hours and hours trying to
Yeah,
make
a fruit roll-up.
sushi roll.
Where did you get that idea from?
I was smoking.
From Adam's place. Where Chef Adam used to work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. They did have one on there. Yeah. But it was it's a challenging thing to plate up, so it never made it to our menu. But it was a good idea.
We
You know, I
adapted. We did
I can ask the
in
chefs
Argentina.
how they did it.
So we try. Here's something. Listen to this. We tried to do the fruit sheet, the fruit roll-up. Well, our fruit roll-up didn't work. So we made it. We made the arancini with it. We got the rice pudding. We breaded it in cornflakes balls, and we deep fried it, and we served it with a chocolate ganache. That was our dessert that we got from playing around with the first one, and it worked. Actually, that
Yeah, I
was
can see where it complemented each other with the.
it's just, it's not
Play.
about that. It's about where your head goes while you're playing around with your food. All
Yeah.
my life, I was told I could never play with my food. Now I can.
True.
Anyway, I guess I'm gonna let you guys go because I want to eat some risotto.
Me too.
Sorry. Feel free to email or ask if you have any questions, or if you decide to try this at home and missed part of it, let me know. And when the video's up, I'll tell you where you can find it. So,
Okay.
See you guys later.
have fun.
Guys, come on. See you guys.
See
All
ya.
right, y'all enjoy your day.